Speed is important in business, especially in Japan. Hello, my name is Greg Story. I'm the president of Dale Carnegie Training here in Japan and the best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery. We're coming to you today from the High Performance Center here in Akasaka in Minato-ku in Tokyo. And I'll be doing a series of videos on doing business in Japan. I've done a couple in the library annex of the High Performance Center and over the Golden Week holidays, so no suit, no tie at that time, but we're back into it now. So back in the High Performance Center, back in the gear. But I want to talk a little bit about speed in doing business in Japan. Now, one of the things you often hear about Japan is, it takes forever for the Japanese to make a decision. They're very, very slow. You have to have so many meetings to get anything done. All true. All totally true. The reason for that is Japanese structure in corporates is such that anybody with any sort of impact felt on a decision needs to be consulted. So these sort of vested interests have to be taken care of as they gradually progress towards a final decision. That takes time to get people on board, to have the discussions, and then questions come up back and forth and around and around. Drive you crazy, really, but that's just how it is. The other thing is too, risk aversion. They are not going to rush into anything that may be a blot on their copybook. They don't want any stains on their record internally in the company, so the best way to avoid that is do nothing. So progressing very, very slowly is the order of things in Japan to get to the decision. Now, the thing they say about Japan is once the decision is made, then things have to move quickly. I remember years and years ago when I was in Australia, I was at a seminar and there was a young guy there. He was actually had a rock quarry, and he was exporting massive granite blocks of rock to Japan. And he made a very interesting observation. He said he used to, in those days, there were faxes. He used to get faxes from Japan, and they all had urgent stamped on the fax. Because the Japanese are always wanting things done in a super hurry. And he's looking at this thinking, wow, that's amazing. These are Japanese people writing in English to me in Australia, and they've got an urgent stamp in English. He said, I'm grown up in business in Australia, I don't even have an urgent stamp. And that is the point. When the decision's made, then things need to move quickly because that's how Japan operates. Very fast on the execution. Slow to get there, but then very fast takeoff. So one of the problems it presents is we tend to be the other way around. We tend in the West to be very quick on the decision making, but not so speedy on the execution. Okay, we'll get to that. So we've got a bit of an opposite direction thing going on here. So here's something to be careful about. Don't expect things to happen fast up to the point of decision, but from that point expect there's going to be a lot of pressure for things to happen very quickly. So be prepared for that. One of the things you can do, though, is make sure you're doing very fast turnaround in correspondence. Now, when I was in Australia, because there's only a 1 hour time difference with Japan, very, very easy to be in touch with Japan, same time zone. But if you're in Europe or you're in America, it's much harder. The point there, though, is try and get back quickly. And don't be afraid, if you want something done, put urgent in the subheader of your email. Japanese will be fine with that. Trust me, they'll be doing it to you. But try and answer things quickly. So they come to you on something, try and turn that around fast. Give them a quick answer. The reason being is that on the Japanese side, once the decision's taken, then everybody internally expects things to happen quickly. And if you're not answering quickly, you're not responding quickly, they get very frustrated because maybe the people who are involved further down the food chain who are going to be buying the product, whatever it is you're supplying, are asking questions. What's happening with that? Tell me where we are with that. You need to be able to answer them. That means fast turnaround, so they can then tell the people down the food chain what's happening. And that's how things work. Everyone wants to know what's going on, so there's a constant appetite for information. And we've got to feed that, and we've got to do it quickly. The pace of living here in Japan, particularly in Tokyo, is very fast. You move fast, you work fast, you think fast, and so they expect execution fast. And when it's a time zone difference, America particularly is difficult, then there's a bit of a disadvantage there. You've got to move extra quickly. So when we're dealing with Japan, don't expect the decision to come quickly, But once it does come, expect the execution anticipation to be high speed. So let's work on that basis and prepare ourselves accordingly. I hope this helped a little bit with how to deal with Japan around the question of urgency and speed.